For some reason, I thought I was going to click the wrong button, even though I know the red button is the right button.
Don't sweat. And Corey just got home, and so the dogs are just going off now. But
Can't,
actually,
I can't hear
I
them at
gotta
all.
give it up. I gotta give it up for work. Like this headset is, I'm
Pristine.
fucking crisp on these
You
recordings.
really are, actually.
Yeah, so
You might want to think about ASMR, I'm just saying.
I mean, I might as well because I need to get the fuck out of here. So let's do it. Welcome back, friends, countrymen, Romans, odd fam. Oh, my computer's possessed. My iTunes just opened up by itself.
Oddities. Stay strange.
It was those spooky stories we just told.
Wow, that was freaky. Anywho, welcome back to Oddities. I'm Cassie.
I'm Kelly.
And welcome back to Strangetown. As per usual, we have links in our description to all of the things, including our social media, our Patreon if you'd like to support our show, our merch if you'd like to buy some merch, as well as links with all the artists that we've worked with. Our email, we'd love to hear from you if you have spooky stories. We have set a goal to do 5 listeners episodes this year, and so we need you.
Come on.
So
We're
write them on
relying
up.
on you.
Email them to oddities.talk@gmail.com. I think I got everything.
Yep, that sounds pretty legit.
Pregnancy brain who? Not on my watch. Not today,
Non-existent.
Satan. Not yet. Give it time. Or dare I say it, just you wait.
That was great.
Thank you. How is my Borsty?
I am thrilled to be here with you today.
Me too. It's been good for my health.
It has been. It's scientifically proven.
It is. It is. We're looking good.
It's been a week, as per usual. This is the highlight of my week, as per usual.
Yes.
If you want to hear what's going on in my town, subscribe to the Patreon.
There's some shit. There is some shit going on, so yeah.
Yeah, I can't even. I can't wait to send you that video. I
can't wait.
I
yeah.
love that I screen recorded it. I was like, this is evidence.
Now it's just for my entertainment, but yeah. That's wild.
And yeah, so not a lot going on. I have the Skelly Bear and
The handsome boy.
the handsome boy. I sent you the greatest picture on earth this week.
You did. It was great.
So every time Skelly's at my house, he could care less about our cats. Our cats care about him though.
It is yeah, the not caring is not reciprocated.
So anytime he's here, we do a little bit of exposure therapy because they, go into our bedroom and they're miserable because, well, not they, just one of them is miserable.
That face, that poor little face.
And so I did some exposure therapy and Scully is just sitting in the background, not giving 2 cares of the world. And she's looking at me like, Mother, he's going to eat me. And he could care less about her. In fact, after the photo, he promptly laid next to me, not caring.
He's a sweet boy.
And
yeah.
then she growled at him and he just sighed like, whatever.
Yeah, I love it when one cat cares so much and like the other animal doesn't. So like an example for us was, we're in bed the other night and I look over and Hobbs, handsome boy that he is literally just sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
Spoop walked up to him and just started like bitch slapping him.
No.
He literally was doing nothing and like nothing had been going on. It was the calmest environment. And then she just walked up and started like slapping the shit out of him. He just like sat there and took it. Nothing happened.
Nothing.
And then she was done and she like got on the bed and snuggled with us and we were like,
Are you good?
What was that? Like what because like also same, but like what?
Crazy.
I love it. I love animals so much.
But Animals, sometimes I wish I could just like hear what they're thinking.
Oh, so badly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in other news, we are doing like a little board game day-ish night tomorrow. It's supposed to be our D&D day, but 2 players can't come. So instead we're just playing board
Boo.
games.
Board games are always a good time.
Yeah. And so I'm looking forward to that.
Yes.
And yeah, like not much else going on this weekend.
Calm is good.
Yeah, we love comp. Last weekend was packed full.
Yeah,
But
you had some. It was a good time.
it was a great time. I
Yeah,
made Cassie cry. So
you did. I was emotional. It was wonderful in the best way possible.
yeah, it was a good time, and that's all we could ask for, honestly. But yeah, how's my borsty?
Your Borsty's hanging in. For anybody listening and wondering, I failed my 3-hour glucose test,
It was
and
rigged.
I've been slammed with a gestational diabetes diagnosis. So I've now started a continuous glucose monitor and have been perfectly in range the entire time.
And maybe the funnest fact of all of this is like when Cassie and I started recording today, I lowered her blood sugar just by my face.
Because she lowered my stress. Yes, exactly. It has been fun. So here's a variety of things. One, medicine needs to be better to women and stop using archaic tests like this because I am a woman with PCOS, known insulin resistance. My dad has type 2 diabetes. Why are you having me drink a concentrated sugar beverage and then lay on my ass for 3 hours, knowing it's not going to be good for me?
Yeah.
And why are we not just doing this with the monitor where I can give you concrete numbers
And evidence.
like regularly
hmm
as I go about my normal diet and my normal routine? Because I'm perfect. I'm absolutely spot on. And I'm happy to say that, you know? So I really think my diagnosis is actually bullshit. And I'm very annoyed. And now I'm ready to take down the medical field even more than I already was. So catch me in like 6 years when I have a combination of a medical degree and a law degree, because now I need to fuck up everybody.
I'm here for it.
2, I am astounded by how much stress affects my blood sugar. So I had a perfect level of blood sugar. It was great. It was like 90 something or whatever. It was after after I'd eaten. We were past the window of when I needed to track. It was just like I was just like hanging out. And I get on a call for work. Over the 2-hour call, my blood sugar went up like 8 points just because I was so fucking pissed off. We started recording today. Just came off of a work call. I was at like 101. Since starting to record with Kelly, have been consistently in the 83 to 85 range because I am calm again. And so, lo and behold, there are 2 things. 1, I need to destroy the medical field and revamp it for women. And 2, I need to stop working at my job at the end.
Yep.
So,
Here we are.
all of that heaviness aside, I had a friend. I got into it with a friend this week, so that was fun. And then now this weekend we're going to be very low key. I'm going to finish my taxes. Whoop-de-doo. Can't wait to see what my blood sugar looks like during that. And I'm going to go on a date with my pig. And I'm recording with you today. So it's a
God.
good way to end the week.
I love your nicknames for each other, and I've said that I don't know how many times. Like, truly.
Pig and Peanut. Yeah.
It's just so cute. You guys are adorable.
If you're referring to us as a duo, please call us Pignut. Because P-Pig sounds weird too, so I don't know. There's no winning. I will say this. If anybody's like looking for something good to watch these days, I did watch the Gabby Petito documentary on Netflix. It was excellent. Pissed me off to high heaven. Wish I had my monitor at that point. But it was well done, and it was really nice for somebody like me who was obsessed with that case and trying to collect information from several different media sources when it was going on.
Yeah.
It was nice to see it in like a consolidated like space.
Yeah, I am looking forward to watching that. I am also looking forward to, there's going to be a documentary. I think it's a documentary at least. It's the family members talking about it, coming out next week. The Devil Within. And it's the mom vlogger.
Oh.
I am stoked to watch that
Wait,
next week.
what is that going to be on? Do we know?
Hulu.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
I'll give
Fine.
you my password.
I'm going to log you. That's fine. I'm getting that from you. Wonderful. Thank you.
But like, I I was very obsessed with that story. I had remembered seeing their videos early on, and then I started following the oldest daughter, and then I realized there was like weird shit going on.
There's some shit. Yeah.
Yeah, and then when everything went down, I was like very obsessed. Like,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's going to be the oldest daughter, the oldest son, and the father speaking on things, and I'm very much looking forward to that. But I think I'm going to be watching the Gabby Petito case tonight. I feel like that's my hot Friday night plans.
I gotta be honest, like you can whip that out in like an hour and a half. Like it's
Yeah.
just like 3 short episodes. It's like very bingeable.
Yeah. I did start watching a new show this week called Evil. I highly recommend it. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
The first episode's like kind of slow to get through in a way. I was like, I don't know. But then the second episode had me hooked. You have to watch them in order, though. I have to say that. You can't just jump to the second episode.
Okay, noted. Go.
But it's like this team of people, like, it seems like they're demonic investigators for the Catholic Church.
Sure. I mean, listen. Why not?
And I don't know how else to explain it, but it's really good.
Okay, cool. Ooh, I'm excited. All right, so I'll have to give that a shot too.
I kept seeing clips on fucking TikTok, and I was like, okay, I gotta see what this is about.
Oh, yes, and happy news for everybody. I'm back on TikTok.
Oh, yes, Cassie and I.
The world is aligned once more. We're getting
have
our
a streak
going
back
again. It feels good. I am still trying to train my algorithm back to its like former glory.
I
Because
need
right
to send
now
you more things.
we're pretty hit or miss at the moment, but we're gonna get there.
Yeah.
So it's okay. Yeah. I mean, right now it's mostly just that one guy making fun of Blake Lively, which is great.
That's not a problem here.
I mean, I would love a little variety, but like we'll also take that, so it's okay. Those kill me. Those actually kill me.
It's the fact that he really looks like her.
It's the mouth.
So how does he?
And until I saw him do the mouth, like it never registered with me, and then I saw it and I was like, it's so right. Like it's like it's so yeah. Anywho, will I be following that case? Yes, very closely. It's already happening. I'm obsessed. It's happening.
It's so bad.
We're owning it. Well, we're nearly at our standard Lucky 13. Should we jump in?
We shall.
Mine's lengthy and a little heavy. I'm continuing my little like short mini series of disappearances.
Okay. Mine is an internet hoax. It's a little heavy.
Oh no. Okay. Okay.
And a little like it's weird. It's weird. It's oddities. Hi.
Wow. I don't know where we start then.
Rock, paper, scissors?
Yeah, let's rock, paper, scissors. Okay, ready?
I do rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Okay.
Rock,
Paper,
scissors, shoot.
Shoot. Oh, damn it. All right, let's try it again. Okay.
Rock,
paper,
scissors, shoot.
All right.
Does that mean I'm going first?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yes, you're up. All right. Take it away.
Okay. I'm talking about Momo. And listeners, you might be thinking, Kelly, you've already talked about Momo. This is a different Momo, believe it or not.
There are more than one, so let's do it.
Yes, I'm talking about Momo, the Chicken Lady Challenge.
Oh.
Apparently, this was a thing that took the internet by storm. I don't recall.
I don't recall.
In 2016, that's the earliest that I could find anything.
Okay.
And
2016 was a weird time. Isn't that when all those fucking clowns were running around too?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then even more so by 2018. And then in a statement in 2019 by YouTube, we want to clear something up regarding the Momo challenge. We've seen no recent evidence of videos promoting the Momo challenge on YouTube. Videos encouraging harmful and dangerous challenges are against our policies.
Oh, okay.
So interesting.
Okay.
So what is the Momo challenge?
Indeed.
According to lore, the Momo challenge is a viral game shared on messaging services like WhatsApp, and the goal is to engage in young children into violence or even trigger suicide.
Oh boy. Okay.
Images of this devilish bird lady supposedly pop up with the creepy messages and commands that are said to escalate to extreme violence and horror. Others interactions of the story claim that it features terrifying images spliced into children's programs like Peppa Pig, video games, Fortnite, videos posted on YouTube. Even more news reports saying that the challenge has spread to things like Snapchat. Again,
Why are we doing this? Like,
people are
do you ever
evil.
just like, yeah, like, do you ever just like wonder what the fuck?
Allegedly, this was all an absolute hoax. The signature image for Momo, the possessed-looking chicken lady, predates pretty much every report of the supposed challenge and appears to have nothing to do with the viral sensation. It's a statue called Mother Bird, made by artist, forgive me,
Oh, I remember this bitch.
Kinsiku Asiwa? Are you looking
This
her up?
bitch.
Yep, that terrifying bitch.
Oh my God, this was popular around when I got engaged because I remember the day that I got engaged, we were sitting at lunch at Wendy's, and I was like, "Have you guys heard about this Momo bitch?" And I showed them. I love this for me.
What a memory for you.
What a memory.
Oh my God.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Very cool.
The artist, who works with Japanese special effects company Link Factory. The images of the statue from the gallery displayed first began circulating as early as 2016.
Of course, this was Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
Japan? Are you okay? What are we doing? Why are we making these statues? Okay.
The challenge itself was likely cooked upon a creepy pasta subreddit, and that catalogs horror urban legends. An image of the mother bird sculpture was uploaded in July of 2018, and from there, the myth of Momo took hold. News reports started cropping up Latin America warning of WhatsApp terror games, starting with the suspect suicide of a 12-year-old girl in Argentina. Police never confirmed the connection to the challenge, but other reports of a supposed suicide pact emerged out of Colombia, hinting that at the border, a viral risk. Though it also remains unconfirmed whether or not it was connected or not.
All right.
Again, months later, authorities in Mexico reported that children were being targeted and threatened by El Momo
Uh-oh.
on Facebook. By September, stories of the challenge started capturing the attention of the police and press in the United States. Momo made its comeback in 2019 after panic swept across the United Kingdom. Excuse me.
Yep. Hydrate.
Momo made in the United Kingdom, schools began issuing stern warnings to parents. Police said some videos encouraging young children to take a knife to their own throat. Within a matter of days, it evolved into the wholesale craze into the U.S.
I'm pretty sure I received messages with this fucking asshole in
right?
it too. Yeah.
What this ultimately boils down to was it was a hoax.
Yes.
And then turned into, unfortunately, we all remember getting those horrific chain mail text messages.
Always.
And she was attached to it.
There you go. I mean, she's an icon. She's a legend.
Lately, she's been popping up again. And people are like, Momo's not real. Momo's not real. Momo's not real. And that's how I found her. And I was like, who the fuck is Momo? Because this is not the Momo I covered.
Yeah, like, what is this bitch?
And I was originally fascinated because when I originally started looking her up, I was like, okay, apparently she's a Japanese sculpture and I'm trying to find the Japanese sculpture. She was demolished. because of all of this.
Listen, that fucking thing should be demolished. I don't know why that abomination was made in the first place.
Hmm.
Like, I'm not trying to hate, but I do not look at that and think to myself, this is art.
She is described as the ring girl with googly eyes and a demented smile
Yeah.
and a chicken-like body.
Literally, just like picture the ring girl with like a thyroid issue
Oh my God.
and like chicken legs, and that's what you have. And then you can think about me eating chicken tenders in Wendy's on the day that I got engaged, talking about this, not knowing what was waiting for me that evening.
I cannot believe that this is what I never knew
Don't
that.
Don't you love that
what
for
a
me?
fun piece of information for me. Getting down to it, there is actually no link to her and these deaths.
Mm-hmm.
There is no link to her being spliced into videos, to children's videos or anything. There was
That's good,
an
because if somebody
investigation.
does that, they're really a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, this was a viral hoax, apparently. But I am fairly certain everybody has seen this picture. Like, when I see it, I was like,
so many times. Yeah.
When I saw the photo, I was like, I've seen this. I don't know how many times floating around.
Yeah. Oh
So
yeah. She's just chilling, being this weird chicken bitch.
it is very odd. It is very unfortunate. Again, I'm going to ask Japan.
Are you all right?
Are you all right? Maybe you need to calm down. Maybe we need to talk. Do you need a friend?
You guys, yeah, like, could you guys just like stay on like what do they call it? Like the kawaii, like all the cute shit? Like, can we just look at like Hello Kitty? Can we just have like some Pokemon shit going on? What do we need? What do we need this bitch for? We don't need that. We're good. You've got schoolgirls in the bathroom. You got that one bitch running around on her hands. We're good.
We're fine.
We're fine.
And that is the crazy viral hoax of Momo, the chicken lady.
Momo the chicken lady. So if you look her up, just think about all the fun facts that you heard here.
Yeah.
Because what the fuck? Like, literally, Japan, you need to just take... You can go to bed. You can rest. You've done enough. You've contributed enough. We're good.
And I have to say, this is 100% nightmare fuel. Like,
oh, she's fucking weird looking. Yeah.
She's very spookala. She's very nightmare fuelish. She's very unsettling.
Yeah, actually, now that I did this, I'm going to close out that tab on my Safari, because, like, I know when I go to look something up on my phone later, she's just going to be looking at me, and
you don't need to look at that in the middle of the night by accident.
My blood sugar doesn't need it. It's for science.
Nope.
It's for health. Well done, bestie.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Also, like, such detail, well covered. I fucking... We don't need to go into it.
I love you.
I love you back. Society's really something. Speaking of society being something, I'm covering the Kelly Disney disappearance.
I'm so excited for this, just because my name and then Disney. But anyways.
Your name and Disney. It has absolutely nothing to do with Disney. Spoiler alert. Yeah. but alas, here we are. So Kelly Disney was 17 years old when she disappeared, March 9th, 1984.
A leap year, anyways.
Oh, and now we know. Disney's skull was found 10 years later, but the rest of her body's never been recovered.
Oh, I don't like it.
Le morbid. Oh, I should have done a disclaimer. Guys, like, it's cool. We'll see you next episode. Stay strange if you don't want to hear this. So, her death is one of 3 unsolved homicides involving young Newport girls. 2 others were killed 10 years later. So Disney grew up in Siletz, and she is the oldest of Stan and Betty Disney's 4 children. She falls in love with this 20-year-old named Robert Ellis and threatens to quit school if she can't be with him. So the Disneys are like, okay, you can be with him, but you have to attend and graduate from Newport High School. And she's like, all right, deal. So March 8th, 1984, the night before she disappears, or whatever. There's like the timeline around this is a little like funky, so bear with me. So there's this low-key party. The 2 of them have an apartment together at this point, Disney and Ellis. So Ellis leaves this apartment. Disney stays behind. She eventually gets pissed about something, probably that he just like pieced out, and she leaves 12:30 a.m. March 9th. Later, he returns, but was told that Disney had left. I guess people still stayed at their apartment after the two of them left. They're like, okay, we'll just continue to party here while you guys like
Yeah.
peace out, but whatever. So he begins searching and finds her standing along Highway 20, just east of Highway 101, but could not convince his girlfriend to get in the car and come back with him because she's pissed at him. So, two men on their way to their night jobs that night, they see Disney, they offer her a ride, she refuses. So the men go and relay their story to a Newport officer who calls dispatch and the Lincoln County's sheriff's deputy, and they find her along the highway near what is now known as Southeast Moore Drive. She refuses help, saying she's going to go to a different girlfriend's house nearby. First of all, applaud those two men on the way to their job for being like, okay, we're going to stop off and tell the police about this because this is weird shit.
Yeah.
You know how many people would have just like kept going after she was like, no, I'm good?
Out of sight, out
So,
of mind.
good on them. Investigators now believe. So all of this, she talks to the cops, whatever. It's now 1 a.m., March 9th. Investigators now believe that there's this like 15 to 20-minute window after that when Disney either got into a car or was forcibly taken. It's just a small window of time.
Yeah.
So now, looking back, cold case investigators are critical of sort of this stop and go search efforts of the Newport Police and Lincoln County Sheriff's offices back after all this gets kicked off. Their general thinking 40 years ago appears to have been that Disney ran away or like willingly got into somebody's vehicle. Now, cold case, investigators are adamant that that what they know based off of what the family has told them, that Disney wouldn't have gotten into a car with somebody she didn't know. So now people feel like they have actually a pretty good idea of what happened. So they're working on this theory that one or two people that Disney knew, likely from the local community, picked her up along Highway 20 that night. They then theorized that a group of men took her somewhere, possibly sexually assaulted her, and then killed her. A number of men have told others that they were there when Disney was assaulted and wish that they had stepped in to stop it. So now they're getting like these weird accounts from like other people. Every now and then, her sister, Dodds, will contact the 3-member cold case squad in the Lincoln County District Attorney's Office asking if anything new has occurred. And she feels that investigators know the names of 4 men, 3 who are still supposedly in the area who were with her sister that night. And she says, I have a feeling we know who it is. And it's hard getting older knowing how bad they messed up the investigation back then. And actually, so much so that her sister and family members staked in 2020, staked 200 signs along U.S. Highway 101 and Highway 20 in Lincoln County and handed out 2,000 posters. And the message was simple: justice for Kelly Disney, 36-year-old murder case. At that point, now it's 5 years ago, but some posters are still visible around the local community. And her sister feels that it's great that those signs are still up today. So let's talk a little bit about the cold case investigators on this case. You have Linda Snow, who is a retired legal assistant from the Deschutes County District Attorney's Office.
What
who
a
volunteered.
badass name. Hold on.
Linda Snow. I know. It sounds like a TV character.
I can't let that just go. I'm sorry.
How do you go through life with a name that fucking cool?
Instantly,
right?
I'm sorry.
Like, if something bad happens to me, I want Linda Snow to handle it. Like, I know I want her to handle it.
I couldn't just gloss over that.
No. Rightfully so. So she used to be a legal assistant. She retired. And now she volunteers with the cold case squad for the Lincoln County, sheriff's office.
As she should with that name.
As she fucking should. The original cold case detective, Ron Benson... Actually, all these names kind of sound made up. I gotta be real. But anyway, Ron Benson retires in 2022, and he actually died in 2023. 2 other retired detectives, Patricia Miller and Mark Peterson, now also volunteer and work under the supervision of the district attorney detective, Orrin Wallace. So the unit has 12 cases that investigates. Snow concentrates mostly on the Disney case and the unsolved homicides of 2 other girls from the Newport area. Jennifer Essen, and Kara Leese. 15 and 16 were their ages respectively. So Leese and Essen disappeared January 27th, 1995, after leaving a friend's house and heading into town. More than 2 weeks later, their bodies are found near Mulek Beach, covered with brush, and they had been strangled. And the county activated its major crimes team to investigate, but could never get enough evidence to indict someone. Snow said the Disney family's poster effort from several years back actually generated a few dozen phone calls and tips and helped with this case a little bit. So Snow presented the case to a statewide cold case investigators group and got some ideas to pursue, including a larger search of the area where the skull was placed and found in 1994. And that turned up some animal bones wrapped in a tablecloth, but nothing else. So I don't know what that's about. Culty shit.
Ugh.
The unit has also asked the FBI for help by offering a reward, but it's not yet been approved. Other than that, Snow can't share too much more about the case.
Okay.
They do follow up on statements that they still receive, things like that. Her sister thinks about it every day. Like, she says she wants more than anything justice, and she won't stop until they get it. Now, Disney and her boyfriend Ellis, their relationship was known to be like a tumultuous one. So Ellis liked to party a lot, Disney a little bit less to, a degree. She was going to school, as we know. She was also working at a pizza parlor. He was installing carpets for a living. So anyway, nobody quite knows what their fight was about that night, but like it wasn't, I guess, out of character for them to have these sort of like spats, and then like she pieces out and she comes back, and it was just like this known pattern according to her sister. And what the thing that pisses me off a lot is like that he went to find her, and even though she refused to get in the car, like he just left her there. And he could have parked his car on the side of the road and said, "Okay, I'll wait here until you feel cool enough
Yeah.
about all of this
You
to
don't
get
just
back in."
leave.
Don't just leave her. Um, so most people refer to the searches for Kelly Disney after all this as like disorganized. As we know, Ellis went out to search several times to look for her that night. Friends looked too. The next morning, Betty, the mom, comes to the apartment looking for her daughter. Ellis thought that maybe Kelly had wound up at her parents' home. Then is when Stan, her dad, files the missing persons report. So literally the day after, March 9th. And originally, the police department were like, no, she's a runaway. Which, as we know, is, of course, a pattern in investigative work around disappearances. Their argument being she was old enough, she could run away, and that's just what it is. So her sister alleges that Kelly was like not at all like that. She knows it was dangerous to run away. She wasn't one to do that type of thing. So the family organizes several searches. The local fire department does one. All of this, nothing's found, and then so the case begins bouncing back and forth between Newport Police and the sheriff's office. And it got some attention or whatever. So then 10 years later, they find her skull. All that time, nothing. Like, this is not a big area. Like, it's not a
Yeah.
big ass city. Like, it's 10 years, and then they find her skull. So Monday, July 25th, 1994, a man walks into the Newport Police Department with a human skull. He had been driving his ATV behind Big Creek Reservoir, east of Newport, and stopped in an abandoned car in a known party spot for locals, and he finds the skull wrapped or covered with, like, carpet. Which, to me, is an immediate red flag for her boyfriend because he worked installing carpets.
Carpet. Yeah.
So this guy takes it home. His girlfriend is like, no, take it to the police. He tries taking it to the sheriff's office, but only the jail was open. Jailers tell the man to take it to Newport Police. But it's Saturday and their office is closed. So then he returns home, cleans the skull with dish detergent, and puts it on top of his TV. So we're not even going to touch that. And Monday, he then takes it to the Newport Police. Dental records then showed that the skull was Disney's. The skull had evidence of head injuries. So in reconstructing the case, investigators talked to kids who played in the car the day before the skull was found. The skull was found days after investigators had gone to a local media to drum up more interest in the case. Um, so they're saying we know absolutely the day before it was found that the skull wasn't there. We know that somebody placed the skull there. So finding the skull 10 years after she disappeared creates this new push to find the rest of her remains and her killer. And detectives focus on the boyfriend, but they can't make headway. And so the case goes cold all over again. And now Ellis is like 60 years old. Um, and while Disney was the first Newport girl to disappear, she wasn't the last, because then you have actually like 5 total. So you have Melissa Sanders, 17, Sheila Swanson, 19, both 1992 is when this happened, leaving a family camp out. 5 months later, hunters find their remains 20 miles east of Newport near Eddyville. Their bodies were very decomposed, and the state medical examiner couldn't determine how they died. Then you have the 2 that I touched on previously from 1995, Jennifer Essen, Kara Leese. They both left a friend's house, headed into town, and then 2 weeks later, they had been found and strangled, like I said. And so the police start to wonder then at this point, is this actually a serial killer at work? Granted, it doesn't sound like for any of the bodies the same like method was used. So I don't know that I agree with that. Though obviously there's some sort of issue here if it's 5 girls in this area in a relatively short amount of time, call it 10 years of time there or so. Anyway, the county, it's they view it as a big deal. It was another in this sort of stack of killing of teenage girls in Lincoln County across this small area where this was happening. So the county activates a major crimes team to attack the most recent one, which was the Essen and Lease case, but could never really get enough evidence, like I said, to indict anybody. Momentum wanes, detectives retire, the investigation stalls. A new guy becomes district attorney in 2009. Within weeks, reactivates the major crimes team to have another look at these 5 homicides. And there were new detectives. At this point, major advances in DNA technology, criminal databases that didn't exist prior, all this, blah, blah, blah. So he instructed somebody on his team to take 1 day a week to work on 3 cold cases. And that's when they start to dig in a little bit more. Snow enters the picture to help about this, all this fun stuff. And that year, they interviewed more than 200 people that first year that they reactivated the case, which I think is so great. Yeah. Reports break that a drifter named Bobby Joe Fowler might be connected to dozens of killings across sort of the region. So Benson and Snow are redirected to the Essen and Lease case for several years until it was determined that Fowler was actually in jail shortly before the girls disappeared. So then he's kind of tossed out the window. Their deaths remain unsolved. Then for the 2 other girls, Sanders and Swanson, authorities feel that they were picked up and killed shortly after they left their campsite by a man named John Ackroyd, who was a state highway worker who worked in the Santiam Canyon, I guess like state area. Like I guess it was like a park or something, but he regularly traveled Highway 20 to the coast. 1993, he was convicted of killing a woman jogger in Camp Sherman and is firmly connected to other deaths, including these 2 girls from Lincoln County. And he dies in prison in December 2016 without telling officials of any connections to the killings. His killings were detailed by the Oregonian newspaper. And so then that leaves 3 homicides, though, that are unsolved: Disney, Essen, and Lease. They do the posters, they do the signs, they get more calls, and to this day, they just don't have a resolution. It's unlikely that the case is going to be solved through DNA evidence at this point. The skull was cleaned. There is no body. And so, they just have this theory that like 1 or 2 people that she knew picked her up, said that we'll give you a ride home. They think that she ended up with this group of men who took her somewhere, took advantage of her, and then killed her. A number of men have told others, like I said, that they were there when she was assaulted, in which they had stepped in. But they have no idea where her remains might be. They've chased a lot of rumors and no luck. And so that's the Kelly Disney case.
Wow.
I know, it's a sad thing. If anybody knows anything, to reach the Lincoln County cold case investigators, call Linda Snow. okay, our girl Linda,
Mm-hmm.
at 541-265-0284, or Ron Benson, 541-265-0271. And there's no happy ending there. I don't know what happened to her. Obviously, like, this was a very gruesome thing if they went ahead and, like, decapitated her after.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, some sort of trauma was involved if her skull shows that. Like, I don't know if they knocked her out and then took advantage of her, or, they did that and then they killed her. I don't know. I just don't know. And what puzzles me is, like, all these people have stepped forward and been like, yeah, I saw it and I wish I had stepped in. And it's like, okay, well, why are we not following up on this harder? But maybe it's just a case of these investigators can't share more details beyond that at this point. Like, maybe it's too confidential. Based on
Can't show all
the
your cards.
based on the news articles that I compiled and things like that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I do know that if the shit hits the fan, I want Linda Snow on my case.
Definitely.
Like,
If something
no
happens
doubt.
to me, call her.
Linda Snow. I got her phone number. We're good. I got it right here. Yeah. So I'm sad by this. Here she was, like a 17-year-old girl, her whole future ahead of her. And I think it was the boyfriend, personally.
Agreed.
Though, like, what the skull was wrapped up in carpet. I don't know. It just seems weird.
I wholeheartedly believe it was him.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's fucking weird, though, the guy that found it, and he was like, oh, well, I think I'll just take it home and wash it before I give it to the police. Like, what is... What, literally, like, I mean, you don't have to have any education on this stuff to know, bag it. Like, I don't know.
Or
Just put
maybe
it...
just don't even touch it. Like, okay, you realized what you found. Drop it.
Yeah,
Call
drop
the
it.
cops.
Call the cops. Even if the fucking county sheriffs aren't there, let the cops take care of it. Like,
Yeah.
somebody... I don't give a shit that places were closed. Somebody's on duty to, like, help with this. I don't know. The whole thing's wild. So that's the Kelly Disney case.
Well done.
Thank you. I think it's the boyfriend. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, definitely the boyfriend. So.
Like, yeah. So fuck you. And of course, would love to know what the Odd Fam thinks.
Mm-hmm. As always.
Also, want to know if they've ever been victimized by Momo the chicken lady. Like, did you guys receive that chain message? Yeah. Do you have nightmares?
Tell us. We want to know.
Of course, Japan got to know if you're all right. And until next time,
stay strange.